He's doing TikTok.
You TikToking me?
Isn't that what you do on TikTok? You just do it back and forth, and you just hit like loop, and it looks like you never stop.
I don't know.
He does some YouTube thing.
Yeah.
I tried to make a TikTok video. It was the worst thing I've ever
It's the
seen in
worst
my life.
experience ever.
I gave up.
Yeah, I don't know. I know how to scroll. I don't know how to
So yeah, you just take a video and you push it onto Facebook, and it somehow ends up in your TikTok account.
What?
Yeah.
Is it really?
See,
Yeah.
no. I don't get that.
I don't know. Yeah. I don't know how any
Dylan's
of
over
that.
there in the corner, like he's like, I don't know about that.
Yeah. They don't know.
Is that on the World Wide Web?
Hey, it's on the line.
How is it
The
on-
intranet.
It's on the line. Yeah. He's like, no, that's not how it works. I'm telling you, that's how it works. I send it to Amanda, and it ends up everywhere.
I believe on the 400 part, so I don't know.
All right, ready?
Yeah.
Okay. Hello, Austin, Texas. You're listening to the Home Team with Troy and Wyatt, where we bring sports and money together for your education and entertainment. If you have any questions about anything said today, please reach out to me at loans, that's an S, from Troy.com, or give me a call at 855-299-HOME. And as always, this segment is brought to you by Security National Mortgage, where we turn houses into homes by financing
Your
American Dream. And don't worry, everyone, if you have any issues that are said today, you always address those to Wyatt, and he's on the Facebook.
the Facebook.
Right,
That's
and
right.
yes, because it's the Home Team 512 on the Facebook.
That's correct.
Yes,
That's
and
correct.
so that's definitely Wyatt's area. So just wanted to make sure everybody understood that.
I understand.
So basically, I get a lot of Troy complaints, which is it's tough. It's
And
tough.
since I admin it, I just delete all those, so it doesn't really matter.
I see that. Yeah, I get it.
But yeah, it's a good time. It's real estate. There's a lot going on. Honestly, the last few weeks, I have seen a big uptick in activity in real estate. In a lot of areas, and so that's kind of one of the things. So we've brought on, I want to call them, residents, but resident is probably not the right word, but definitely, experts in what we're about to talk about, which is broader purchasing. Because most of the time we talk about residential, every once in a while we'll talk about like commercial, but right now one of the things that I don't think people are understanding how important is that next. Right? Where's the next neighborhood? Where's the next community? Where's the next Austin going to be?
Sure.
And buying, ranch and land and things like that is a big deal. And so,
That is the American dream, right?
Yeah.
This land.
Yeah.
That's the American dream. Have your own piece of property.
And
Large.
they say they're not making any more, but they are. Because they're making more in Hawaii every day.
Well, that's not they.
Right.
But,
Correct.
That's he. But,
So with that, we brought on, of course, TexasLand.com is kind of the best way to get a hold of them. But Josh Smith, Josh, welcome. And of
Hello.
course, the superstar, been here for a quarter of a century, Dave Murray. DMTX is the .com is the best way to get a hold of him. And you were talking about it. You said that you like to purchase, or your sweet spot is about 3-hour diameter around Austin. Kind of what's going on out there right now?
Yeah, so most of what we're doing is about 3 hours in any direction of Austin, but we're kind of progressing into the broader, all over Texas. But as far as what's going on right now, what we're, since interest rates went up, it's like everywhere, with every segment of real estate, it's slowed down a lot, obviously. So we're, I think, 16-ish months into this whole kind of downturn. But what we're seeing is it's starting to maybe show some signs of coming back a little bit. We've been a little more busy. I know me personally, I've been getting more calls. We've been getting more inquiries, and I think things are maybe starting to come back a little bit. But it's also been hot outside, so people, a lot of people in the bracket that we're, the income bracket that we're dealing with. A lot of those people are out of town. They're on vacation. They're at vacation homes, stuff like that. People are gone, and it's super hot outside. People aren't looking outside. They're not out on ranches. They're in a pool somewhere.
Absolutely.
Or on the beach.
now, when you say ranch, you say farmland. You also have people want some people want to grow hay. Some people want to raise cattle. and they always think, you can do that on 50 acres. So y'all deal with 50 acres and up, or
Yeah, sure. We do everything that makes sense.
Sure,
So
that makes
we're
sense.
out there previewing like 200 to 300 ranches a year.
Oh, okay.
So no one else is doing that, and that's partly, just looking for smart, strategic purchases for, buyers, investors, and then also 40% of all the land sold in the country is sold in Texas. So a lot of people don't know that 96% of the land is privately owned. So that's a bit, that's a big part of it. And then Texas, that it automatically relates to ranches.
Well, and people don't realize that when you're going to go get land, it's not like just a normal realtor. There's a lot of knowledge that your average realtor does not know when it comes to land, like easements.
100%.
You have all kinds of mineral rights and so forth. How long have y'all been doing this?
Well, I've been doing this since the mid '80s, so a little more than 25 years.
So
but-
y'all, and so tell us a little bit about some of the things that someone has to look into when they're buying land. What are some of the things that y'all are going to offer and help them out with?
Sure. So we're kind of a concierge. We're going to help our clients through everything. Post sale. We help clients. Find people to help manage their wildlife exemptions. Help them find fencing contractors. Help them find if they want to buy, exotic animals. Deer. Stalker. Bucks or whatever. We can help them with that. Land clearing companies. Just everything that you would need after buying a ranch. We help our clients. We help guide them through that process of putting them together with all those different people, of all those different things. And as you mentioned, you own a place. You live on 100 acres.
Right.
There's just always something. There's always something coming up. There's always
Absolutely.
there's
And then,
so
and then when
much.
you're going to fix that, something else comes up while you're doing that. So,
For sure.
right.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah. So we
So everything from tractors to fence, y'all can help them out with.
everything. Yeah.
And that's perfect. So, and a lot of people don't understand when you're buying a piece of property, the easements is one of the biggest ones, right? You don't want to make sure that if you have a different purpose for it, and we'll talk a little bit about that, but
For sure.
development, or you're buying it because it's in an area and it might be developed, you think maybe in 15 years. It's kind of nice to know if you have a pipeline easement or something
For
like
sure.
that going down the middle.
And there's a checklist of things
Right.
that when we're dealing with a buyer on a place, we're looking at just what you were talking about: easements, electricity, gas, oil, all those different things. You have to know the particulars of each of those because each of those kind of affect the property in a different way. But also there's things like floodplain. There's things like restrictions.
Sure.
There's
And water's become a
For
big
sure.
one.
Water-
Right, before it wasn't though.
Right.
You had oil companies, and water rights and mineral rights to water is separate from oil.
water.
So you have to
water's
watch
a-
out for that.
Water's a big conversation, especially right now,
Right.
because of a lot of counties are on watches and having issues providing water. They're not approving development permits because they don't have the water capacity.
Sure.
So we're seeing a lot of that. So there's a lot of things that you have to look out for. And one thing like that, if you don't, during the buying process, if you aren't, if you don't look into things the way you should, or you don't have the right data, it can really hurt you. So you need to really hire the right person to help you and guide you through the process, because that can help you later.
And then the other thing, and let me ask you real quick, is the 1 hour, 2 hour, and 3 hour rule, right? So 1 hour is you're going to pay more per acreage from Austin.
Yes.
I mean, major. So if you want a price point, you're going to have to either drive 3 hours to get a bigger piece of property, right?
But that's not always true.
Okay,
because
that's what I wanna know. Yeah.
Because there are some pockets, right, Dave? Like you go out to Fredericksburg, you go out to Round Top.
Yeah.
There's areas where you can drive an hour and a half, 2 hours out from a metropolitan area, and you're, it's like a little bubble, that where it's just the land's more expensive. There's a higher demand for that land, and there's a scarcity.
Sure.
And not a lot of places come up, and there's, just a supply and demand, issues.
I mean, like
but
all-
it's mostly true. That's mostly
Like all a real estate, location is
Yes,
of
location,
prime
location.
importance. But you got to factor in the land and the trees and the views and the topography. I mean, there's so much to consider with land that you don't ever, doesn't come on your radar for a home purchase.
So my big question, fringe benefits. Do you get to dove hunt sometimes and kind of test out the land a little bit?
Oh yeah.
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 Lots of hunting opportunities.
If you ever need help,
Yeah.
I will definitely give you my phone number. Just to let you know.
And I will definitely come out and free of service and just do all the hunting out there y'all need.
Bring an AR-15 and we can, there's always hogs hunting.
Oh, some
year
things,
round.
I got my thermal and my silencer and my AR platform.
We were
most
just
certainly.
talking about
Yeah,
that.
yeah. We do a lot out in Luling.
Yeah.
Most certainly.
Oh yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
And so one of the things too is just, it sounds like finding this land, but you also find land like we were talking about earlier, for developing. You would mention developing and things like that. So you have kind of a mindset and an idea of where you can kind of find things to develop and for other people. Is that what you're
Yeah,
doing?
no, absolutely. I mean, land, people don't realize this. You go out right now and you can spend $10 million on a ranch. And if it's got minimal to no improvements and it's ag or wildlife exemption, the taxes are literally nothing, hardly anything. So the holding cost is very minimal. And the upside is it's not going to go anywhere. In a down market, maybe it goes down. If you're not a seller, it's going to come back up. So we've had, clients have done incredibly well with land purchases, and you got a place to hunt, you got a place to, go hang out, you got a place to have cattle on in the meantime. So it's just a very smart, strategic purchase.
So I hear that as an exit plan. So buying a ranch, and so if they're saying, hey, I want to do this as an investment, you take that all into account. Say,
Yeah,
okay,
I mean, look, land bank it. That's what we call it. And that market's blown up. It used to be the primary market for ranches up until a few years ago was people that were either recreational or cattle or both, or a place to retreat. But now, I mean, that's still part of it. But now you have so many more people, particularly since COVID and over the last 4 or 5 years, that are just looking for, hey, this is smart to purchase and put something in land. If you can make a smart purchase within, in the Texas Triangle, I call it, from Dallas to San Antonio, which includes Austin, to Houston, back to Dallas. That's the 13th largest economy in the world.
in the world.
70 in the world.
Yeah.
About 70% of the population of Texas. So we're very vested
Yeah.
and knowledgeable in that area. And obviously we're fortunate to be in one of the fastest growing regions in the country, and land is smart.
Yeah, well, I want to visit y'all and buy some land myself here. I would hope in the near future.
Absolutely. And that's, like what you're saying, buying land too kind of protects you from, inflation and things like that, because the land is going up as the same amount as inflation, whereas your bank's paying you 1%, and the land's,
Right.
you're losing money keeping it in a savings account right now.
That's right.
Yeah. And so, I mean, these are great options. And so if you're interested, please reach out to either Josh Smith or Dave Murray at texasland.com or dmtx.com, and they will take good care of you guys or gals. Hey, you've been listening to the Home Team with Troy and Wyatt. We hope you've enjoyed what you've heard so far. If you have any questions, please reach out to me at loansfromtroy.com or give me a call at 855-299-HOME. And as always, this segment is brought to you by Security National Mortgage, and we will see you in just a minute.
Great job.
Yeah. Did we get everything in we thought?
Yeah.
Yeah.
We're gonna talk a little bit more about that.
Yeah.
We'll talk about the investment side of it
Yeah.
here in a little bit. I want to know more about that as well,
Yeah, sure.
and what that looks like. What's that person?
Yeah.
Y'all can combine them with. I mean, as low as $20,000. You can put them with a group that can invest, or you want single investors, or how does that work for y'all?
Typically we've dealt with some groups that have done some of the bigger development deals, but when it comes to a ranch, it's typically an individual
Just
or
an
maybe a
individual.
family.
A family. Okay.
I mean, anytime I have people that come to me and say, hey, I'm getting 5 friends together to buy a ranch.
It just never. That's
Oh,
a hunt
wow.
and lease.
Oh,
It's not a ranch. That's a hunt and lease.
That's. I've been involved with too many of those growing up. And, oh Lord have mercy. Yeah, I don't even want to get into that.
If it's a family or individual buying a ranch, that's,
I already deal with family hunting at our place, and that's fun. Having brother-in-laws and everybody with their
Yeah.
opinions. So,
Oh, I've got
yeah.
that now. I've got 2. I've got one south of Bastrop, and I've got one out in Johnson City.
Okay.
And I deal with all that. I just got an email from a text from the cousin that said no one else is pitching in for all the deer feeders, and
Oh yeah. No, yeah. There's always something, right?
they're not hunting.
or
on
the
the ranch.
or the one person that shows up and wants to shoot, a big buck, but hadn't, gone to any of the work days and all that.
That happened
Oh,
2
yeah.
years ago.
Yeah, or they don't get why can't I shoot?
That's
that?
my buck. Why did you shoot it? He had his eye on
But
it.
that was a big 2.5-year-old. Why aren't we shooting that? And I'm like, because we would want more deer to keep
Yeah.
coming out. So yeah,
I
it's-
didn't
it's
see
tough.
your name tattooed anywhere on that deer, Wyatt. I don't know why you keep.
Well,
I
I've
don't know why you keep bringing up old stuff. Okay.
No, and I love hearing
It's
a
a
shot.
big- it's a
and
big,
shot
beautiful
and a
deer.
miss.
And
This
what?
happened last year. A shot and a miss. My brother-in-law, and he does this double shot with his sons. So they both shoot at the same time. I'm like, please stop doing that. Like either he can shoot the deer on his own, or he can't. Don't do double shots. 'Cause
Oh, they planned that.
they plan it
Oh.
so that if his son misses it because they haven't practiced as much, they get down deer. So we end up getting, a shoulder shot and then a gut shot.
Yeah.
And yeah, it's horrible.
Yeah.
So so I was like, I heard 2 missed shots. I'm like, was that 1 gun or 2 guns? Because we kind of discussed this already. He's like, oh, we're shooting at a hog. So it sucks for him. There's this thing called game cams. It's like no. It isn't. So anyway, I get it. It's tough.